Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and it's a warm welcome. It's Friday night, May 9th, and I'm broadcasting from the West Coast of California, a place called Surf City, USA, 3 blocks from the beach. And I'm here to welcome you all with your concerns and questions and heartaches with the agency that I call the Child Protection System. It's a government entity that was created in 1962 by a mandate from Congress to social services to have a group of social workers protect our children from neglect and abuse by using a mandated reporting and a layman reporting. What all that means is someone suspects child abuse. Either you're supposed to report it by law as a mandated reporter, or you layperson just want to help. When you suspect there's negligence or abuse, you're supposed to call 911. 911 is the United States code for help, for assistance. The reason why I'm telling you to call 911 as opposed to calling CPS or the police is I'm sad to say that your stories sometimes get lost or tracking. 911 is a public entity, and they record everything and have it for public record. So when you call in, you're supposed to suspect abuse, or neglect. It isn't for you to get back at your family members or retaliate against a spouse or your neighbor's dog's barking too much or the yard is overgrowing your yard. That's not the purpose of calling in for abuse. It's a serious matter. There are children every day, and I'll talk about the 10-year-old this week, that the parents were convicted 40 years of hard labor for starving their child who was found at 36 pounds, 10 years old. He's later strangled by his stepbrother. Those parents deprived him. They abused him. So that is a necessity call. It should have been done sooner than that. There's over 1,000 people that go unreported every day of abuse or neglect. But there's also, sad to say, people that abuse the system and falsely accuse one another. Family members that want to retaliate. I too was a victim of CPS, and a layperson called in on my wife and I, her mother, her father, her 3 sisters and brothers. Sadly, for 5 years, they'd call and complain that we weren't taking care of the children. And every time CPS came out to investigate or search out, they couldn't find anything. Till finally, after 5 years, they had enough, and so they contacted the police department. They wanted to have me open the house another time and have all these people there to find something wrong. They had 5 firemen, 2 code enforcement, 3 social workers, 2 uniformed policemen, and a detective, all standing in front of my yard. And they said, you need to open up the house. Now, if I knew the rules, my constitutional rights thing, I would never have done that. Because they were searching. They didn't have anything that could hold us against it. Unfortunately, my parents, my dad had just recently died and my mom was dying, so I had all their belongings in my house. And that was a mistake on my part because it ended up being charged with neglect. The boxes stacked, even though they were stacked comfortably, and the furniture was, they say they could endanger the children. It was far-fetched. It was far-fetched. So my wife had to endure 3 years of heartache. We did not know that her parents were the ones, the culprit, that were calling in all the time. They are corrupt and evil. The Orange County Child Protection Service is corrupt and evil. They're not good. They took our children right away, and they weren't even in danger. They were in school. That's the second rule that they broke. They entered a house by forcing their way in. They took our children by forcing it. You see, it's pretty intimidating when you have a policeman sitting there tell you something, or you have government social workers tell you something. I wish I knew about in 2022 when 8 social workers, all women, decided to buy pink t shirts, not to support breast cancer awareness, but put a message to the public on the front. They had professional child kidnappers, and on the back, they say, "Parents, do you know where your children are at?" And they parade around in all the big stores: Costco, Kmart, Walmart, Sears, Best Buys, Target, May Company, J.C. Penney's. All the big stores parade around and sent a message quite clear. They were caught and they were fired by the city along with the director of, and they were called the Child Protection Services, CPS. Oh, no, sorry, DCS, Department of Children's Services, DCS. And the whole department was closed except for one person left to take care of it. So that was sad because they didn't have enough people to take care of the call-ins or, help out people that need help. A lot of people forget what the purpose of social services is, including CPS. They're supposed to provide food, shelter, clothing, transportation, education, and even a job. They're supposed to do that, but they don't. Instead, they take children, they make the parents feel really bad, they make them be drug addicts or mental problems, give them falsified tests, make them drop through loopholes. They didn't care. They don't care about elder abuse, senior abuse, or parent abuse. They do it all three. They traffic your children into foster care. The foster care people are corrupt. It is sad. This, again, is Orange County. I'm talking from firsthand experience. I met the director. He worked in a Taj Mahal of a place as his office, like the Emerald City, the Wizard of Oz. So much money was spent on the furniture and the fixings, but not on the children. It's a $1 trillion business. And it's also very hard to understand them. To challenge CPS, you got to be a doctor like you're doing heart surgery. You need a professional attorney that has many years' experience of fighting CPS, one that's trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. That's the kind of attorney you need. And I have one. His name is Vincent W. Davis. And for 39 years, he's been fighting CPS and has got back thousands of children successfully. He'll do your case. And right now, the number's on the screen, 888-888-6582. You can call there, speak to reception, tell them that Bob Pace sent you and that you want to retain Mr. Davis. Right now, in just LA County, where his office is located, his retainer is $5,000, and he's $500 an hour attorney. So that can tell you there. I know the other day he gave a quote for a couple in Georgia. It was $125,000. The reason why it included so much more was the per diem. You see, when he travels away from his office, he needs airfare to get there. He'll need ground transportation to get from the airport to the hotel to the courts. Plus, he needs accommodation where he's going to sleep and food. Those are all added expenses. And, of course, that ground transportation. And then to fly home. So part of the $125,000 goes to the per diem. He's an excellent attorney. He's also a trial attorney. He can do trials. He has also done civil lawsuits if your constitutional rights were violated or your civil rights were violated. He sued CPS, won millions of dollars. He's a pit bull of attorney. And I want to thank Mr. Davis because he does a lot of broadcasts, a lot of shows and so forth. Now I come on here day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. I've been doing this now for 19 months. It started in October of 2023. I'm on 7 days a week, twice a day. In the morning, Monday through Friday, I'm on at 10 a.m. On the weekends, I'm on at 8 a.m. And in the evening, every night of the week, I'm on at 7 p.m. Those times are all Pacific Standard Time, the West Coast of California. And I do these shows twice a day to help out others not make the same mistakes I made. Now, a lot of it may sound redundant or something there, but a lot has to depend on who calls in, who has questions, who texts me messages. That sets the tone. This is an interactive podcast, a live stream. It's an interactive live stream. Now, one of the easiest way to get answers to things is to text a message to me. All it has to be is a comment or a question about CPS, and it should pertain to CPS. Please state your first name, your city or country, your state, and I say country because we have people from around the world that come in here. This is a worldwide live stream. So I have from Indonesia to Bangladesh to India to the Middle East to Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then to the continent of Africa, I have Liberia, and then Sudan, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and then, of course, several provinces in South Africa. Really tough. I have a fine lady named Laika that calls in from South Africa. She has an extremely bad case with her daughter. It's so sad. Then I go up to Europe, in England, Scotland, Wales, Denmark, and Sweden. Then across the pond, I have North America, the Canadian, 4 provinces in Canada, all 50 states, including the District of Columbia, have called in. Mexico, and then further south, north of Brazil, Grenada. Then across the Pacific Ocean to New Zealand, and then the land down under, Australia. And I've had 2 states there, Queensland and Victoria. That's 1,500 more people. It's 1,500 plus people. And a lot of them have the common things. They're taken because they didn't know about CPS or how they work. They were duped, lied to, and it's sad. They're in here because they need help. And I really wish I could help you guys. In order to get help, please, please text me a message. Also, besides text and messages, you can be a guest on my live stream. I'd love to have at least 9 of you. With me, that would make 10. Now, to do a live stream, all you have to do is send an email to my show producer. Her name is Grace, and her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. And you just put in there, I want to be Bob's Friday night show, or Bob's Wednesday morning show, or Bob's Monday night show, or Bob's Saturday night show, or Bob's Sunday morning show. You just say the day and the day, Monday through Sunday, and the date, and of course the hour. And then she will send you a link, and the link will get you onto a program called StreamYard. I broadcast on YouTube using StreamYard application. When she gives you that link, you paste it in the web and you're there. If you get knocked off, use it again. It's good for the whole show. Lastly, you can call me. Now, my number's up. That means you can call me at 628-0990. That's 626-698-0990. And I'd love to have you speak on the show. Now, whether you call in or you a guest on the show, you qualify for a free 13-minute private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis, the real deal. You get a 15-minute consultation where you can ask about anything. You just make your list of CPS questions, prioritize them, and ask away. It's your chance. You should do that ahead of time. So I'll leave my number up there, 626-698-0990. Now we have both numbers up there. Now I'm glad you've joined me in here, but I'd love to have you call in. Oops, someone did try to call in, I think. Let me go see. Let's see if anybody's in my room too. I forgot to check that. Oh, we got somebody in a room. Well, shoot, I'm going to have to put it on the screen there. Bob Pace, you've reached the live show of, fighting CPS. How can I help you?
Link for Streamlabs or whatever you're using is just not working. It's, I think, bringing to the homepage instead of directing to your live video.
What's StreamYard doing?
It looks like you only have the homepage. You don't have the StreamYard connected to your live stream. So whenever I click on it, I can't join.
Well, the YouTube I'm on is the CPS Defense Strategies with Vincent Davis. And I have 7 Facebooks connected to it. Are you on a Facebook or are you on a YouTube?
I'm on YouTube.
Okay, if you're on YouTube, what do you are you seeing me?
Yeah, I don't see you now because I'm calling you from my phone, but I can see you. Yeah, I see you.
Well, what are you saying it's doing wrong?
Just bring me to the homepage, not to your stream, not to your place where I can talk to you.
Did you find me on Facebook?
No, I found you on YouTube. I'm against some of the things that CPS does because I was a victim of that as a child.
Right.
And I appreciate what you do. I watch from time to time. So thanks, man.
Well, I thank you on that, but I think you have to go through Facebook to get on my YouTube.
Oh, I'm on your YouTube. I can go on your Facebook. What's your Facebook?
My Facebook. Let me go to it. Hold on. It's called Fight CPS with Bob Pace.
Oh, it's easy.
And from there, you should be able to link into my YouTube.
Yep, I got it. I'm on your YouTube as well. So,
see, you were trying to take a shortcut or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I about technology nowadays, right?
I'm just as bad as you are, so don't feel bad. And what is your first name, by the way?
My name's Josh.
All right, glad to meet you, Josh. And what part of the world are you from?
From Maine, but I was a foster kid in the state of Rhode Island.
Okay, so you started off with foster care and CPS kept the records and found you now as a grown-up man having children, and now they're after you. Is that the story?
No. I was actually taken. No, I don't have children. I just I watch what you do, and I'm thankful that you do it.
Well, can you tell us when you were a foster? How did that whole thing start? Were you taken from your mom and dad?
I was. Yeah. I mean, rightfully so. But I mean, they placed me in a foster care with a man who would sexually touch my sister. It's pretty bad. I didn't have to deal with that. She did, though. She was younger than I was. I was like 5. And then from there, we we got out to go live with our alcoholic father, and then brought back into foster care, which was it's not fun. It's more like you're an animal than a person.
Well, I'm glad you're sharing that
They
with
have to
us
make a
because
profit out of you, so.
I've been having a lot of similarities among some of my people that are mothers now or fathers, and they were once in CPS's hands as a foster child, and they keep records and they dig you up and they'll come after you and your children.
No shit.
That's right. And
I know about that.
let's watch the language because this is a public show.
I'm sorry. Yes,
that's okay.
sir.
So yeah, that does happen. I can tell you, I can count on one hand. I mean, there's 50 or some more people I've heard that where they were raised as a foster care. They got caught into prostitution or slavery or whatever. They grow up, they try to have children. The next thing CPS is taking their children from them. It's all because they have records. They have records on you.
Terrible.
I mean, it's a haunting. It's terrible to go into foster care, especially if it's corrupt.
Yes.
It's terrible as a child when you have parents that are bad. I feel for you. That's a horrible thing of people that you grew up and you believed in and find out that they're bad. Because I think what you're saying is that you had a bad upbringing with your parents because your parents, molested your daughter and I guess they hurt you.
My sister, but
I mean your sister.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
How's your sister
tough,
today? How's your sister today?
She's doing okay. She's off to college. I'm supporting her financially while I work in trades.
Oh, good.
We're a tight unit.
How about you? How you're doing? Are you in college, Josh?
No, I got sick and had to drop out.
Oh boy. Well, don't give up. Don't give up. I have 2 boys in college and it is tough. I went to college and so their mother did too. So college is a good thing. There's a lot of things that people don't realize you learn in college. It's not about the academics. You learn about people skills and how they interact with people. College is about a lot of life. In fact, life skills is the number one thing that should be taught in every year of your education. If you go to preschool or preppy K or kindergarten or elementary school or middle school or high school or even to college, you should always have, a 1-hour life skill class, something learning about bullying and dating and about sex and CPS, about how to do your taxes, how to set up a checking account, a savings account, how to buy a car, how to get car insurance, how to do medical. There's so many life skills, how to sew, how to cook, and one of the earliest things you have is don't talk to strangers. So in in kindergarten, you can talk about don't talk to strangers. When you're in elementary school, bullying is one of the most common things. And you can talk about how not to bully and how to treat other people with respect and kindness. Then when you're in middle school, it's going to be sex and dating because at those early years, you're already starting to do that. In high school, it's marriage and divorce and CPS and drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And then, of course, in college, it continues on with that. Even if you get a master's or a PhD, you should still take a life skill. And that's what I do pretty much is I do this twice a day, 7 days a week, year after year, month after month. I've talked to over 1,500 people. I've been doing this now for 19 months. Never missed a day yet.
I know. I see you live all the time. I always stop in and watch for a bit.
I'm glad you do because I try to convey that there's 5 rules I've come up with. 1, get an attorney. 2, document. 3, say no to social workers. Don't let them in your home. Don't let them take your child. 4, how to use the internet, how to look up things. And 5, copies of all your important certificates. And if I did those 5 things, I would never have had my children stolen from me. I did not know about my civil rights or constitutional rights. In fact, today, a lady was listening to me while I was doing my live stream. I was doing it at FedEx. And she said, you need to tell your listeners that if they have children, don't say things negative about mom and dad and all the things in there, because what will happen, it'll get worse. It'll get worse for it. If it's true, you got to tell the truth. I don't mean to lie. But you should never play games with CPS, like saying things are falsely wrong, like your parents are alcoholic and they don't drink at all. You don't want to do that. CPS,
I did the opposite.
yes.
So
You wanted,
I was living with my dad,
right,
and he was a severe alcoholic. He
right.
really bad. I mean, like my head would go through walls. It was pretty bad. So he brought me to a mental hospital because I was like, oh, I want to kill myself. But I was pissed off, mad. I was very upset. Sorry. And I told him, like, I'm really upset. I can't deal with my dad, and he drinks too much, and then they bring CPS over, and that was game over for me, because once CPS was there, my dad was gonna mess me up pretty badly, and that's what happened. So I was like, told CPS, yeah, my dad's not an alcoholic, blah 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 blah, just to get them out of the house, and then I ended up going to that mental hospital back, and they're like, you made us a liar. I'm like, what for my choice? I'm gonna be put in the foster care, because I've already experienced, being like seeing what foster care is like. I'd rather get hit by my dad than be hit by some random guy.
Yeah.
So it was a messed up situation, and the thing I'm really upset about the whole situation with CPS is that they would rather take away kids from parents than try to teach parents how to become parents, or how to go past like not drinking alcohol. I think that would make the world 10 times better.
Well, did you know studies have shown the best parents, the raised children, are the biological parents, and if they have a hiccup, there are enough programs out there, parenting classes, drug rehab programs, domestic violence programs. Those, some are a year long, they will help. And family reunification must be at all times tried. It should be a last resort if they have to have a child adopted in foster care. But that didn't help, because in 1994, Bill Clinton signed the incentive law, which basically said that any CPS entity had a child adopted through foster care, they got a bonus of $35,000, a lump sum of $35,000. Why do family reunification takes a year? One of the programs that takes so long is domestic violence. It's a 52-week class. It's a good class. A lot of people say, why am I taking it? But it's a class that teaches you about domestic violence and how timeouts can help you so you don't get angry enough to violence. It happens in the workplace too. People get upset with their boss and stuff and do crazy things. So domestic violence class is strongly recommended. Everybody takes it.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, that's something. Something that, I'm not sure if I have those issues. I hope I don't develop those issues like father, like son. But I'm happy to be aware that those resources are available. But to go on, like, I was taken away from my mom and dad were separate when I was very young, and my dad couldn't raise me at the time, and my mom, we were pulled out of her custody for no reason, basically. And I haven't seen my mom for 15 years. And then after seeing her and now being like the age of 22, 23, it's like I don't know who she is. It's weird. Like she's still my mom, but it's like I was pulled away from her for 15 years, and it's just like she didn't do anything wrong. And that's the crazy thing about it. I was away from her for 15 years, and like she lost her rights as a parent for no reason, because she didn't know how to fight the system. The system really messed her up. She went to the prison on false charges of child neglectment for a full year federal prison.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really sad case. So 15 years later, I'm seeing my mom, but it's like, what the hell? Heck, I went to, she went. It was just like, CPS is really corrupt. It really is corrupt. It's not here that.
It's all about money. It is money, and when the
It
president
is.
of the United States signs into law, the incentive law, that hurt. Now maybe it's toned down a little bit because there was another law that's passed in January of this year that no one knows about. Biden signed it on a Saturday, and no news media even capitalized it. But they made some major changes. They now recognize kinship as an important part of the family. They also recognize not to remove kids if they are homeless or they are low income. Too many parents, because of their conditions, they survived the hurricane or the fires, but their home is burned down or blown down the river. And they're being penalized because they say you don't have a home for your children. And it's wrong because, the National Guard has great helicopters. And there's so many thousands and thousands of mobile homes and RVs sitting there collecting dust across the United States. When there's a natural disaster, and after the winds have died down, the hurricane, the rains have receded, then they should fly in these portable homes and set them on car aprons, once you had a driveway, because you have all your utilities there. You just lost the home. So what you do is you hook up that motor home with the sewage and the water and all the electrical and everything, and then you have a self-contained unit. Yes, that's going to be expensive, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. But putting them up at $300 a night in a hotel week after week is a lot more expensive. Plus, they could be there to help rebuild and help to look. I mean, the fires are another example. You have so many beautiful carports, and the carports weren't ruined. The concrete wasn't burnt, and you just use those National Guard helicopters. They have those special helicopters that can carry things like that. They come with grappling hooks. They come down to the RV place or the mobile home park or wherever it is, and they pick up that unit and they deposit it. And then all you have to do is have the electrical company or the gas company or whoever comes in to do the hookups. Then the people are put there. They can sign a lease or something that this is a free mobile home until your home is built. And they can give you a year to rebuild your home or whatever time it takes to rebuild a home. Meanwhile, they're there. They can see their home being rebuilt and they can help on it. That, to me, helps out people. But, boy, people don't think too much around these days.
No,
they'd rather take the children and put them through the horrible place of foster care. And foster care now is being run by Boys Town. And Boys Town was a great concept when it first started out because it's always about boys and girls that had no parents. But when you have parents that maybe have had hiccups, they may messed up a little bit, they can be fixed. That should not be the resort that they're doing to parents. It's terrible.
What's Boys Town? I never heard of
Okay,
Boys Town.
Let me tell you, Boys Town is someplace in the Midwest. My children were actually in Boys Town because they were taken to a group home, and a group home is usually run by a group like Boys Town. They bid on it, but they underbid themselves because the people that had to do it know how much it costs to run a home. But what it is, it's a mom and a dad, and they usually have children. And they move in, they're like house parents. And there were 6 children living in the group home. 3 of them were mine. We were trying to keep them together. And they had a couple who had one little child that could barely walk and another child on the way. And they were terrible. They were trying to teach it that these parents, they were teaching the kids, don't put your arms out and hug your parents. Don't show any love. It was sad. It was sad. And the guy that was director of Boys Town, the guy that's director of Boys Town. Yeah, I know. The guy at Boys Town, the director there, was accused of molesting girls.
Oh, I'm not surprised. when it comes, yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean,
Not only
well, how,
girls, they molest
like I went
boys
to a
too.
foster care
They
that was
miss
the
them.
case,
They
you know?
miss. They miss because they have no appreciation of human life. They have bad values themselves. Now, not all foster carers are bad. Not all child protection is bad, and not all Boys Town are bad.
No,
But there's enough of them that are bad, and you can't expect to bring in Boys Town that is geared up to having with no parents watch kids, and that's what they're doing now out in California. Boys Town is in the Midwest. Look it up, Boys Town, and
yeah, I got their webpage right here.
yeah,
I'm
and
looking
they're
at
and they're and
stuff.
they're and they're for helping families that children that don't have moms and dad that care. But if you have a mom and dad who are going through hiccups or did something they didn't think they did wrong and trying to get it better again, then it shouldn't be. There's anyway. I just can't believe, Josh, that you sound like a good level head man, and
I
you.
know I'm messed up.
I
I gotta
know,
be honest
I
with
know,
you.
well, I know that. I know
I'm
people have.
very messed up.
You have demons
Losing
in
my
you.
parents
Yeah. Well,
was probably one of the toughest things. I'm still trying to find a way to heal.
you're
Problem
doing
is,
it by
like I said,
calling, by talking on my show is a good place to heal because I'm not going to go away. I've been on here twice a day, every day of the week. So if you're feeling down and
you've proven
out,
that. I see you live all the time.
yeah, I know. And
For
that
the
you could
past
come on
month.
the show. Also, I make phone calls during the day. I'm on at 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock on the phone and from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I'm calling people that are interested in hiring my attorney, Mr. Davis. But a lot of people call me up and say, Bob, help me. I just don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I have on this, by the way, one of the persons in this room right here, I forgot to say hello. Her name is Cruel. Cruel is Felicia from Ventura County, and her mom is missing. She talked to her grandmother. She doesn't know where her daughter is, and her two babies are missing. Her brother has turned against them and stole the home that she was living in. So Cruel is beside herself, but she comes in here every day to get me to tell her you can do it. You can hang in there. So she comes in twice a day, almost all the time. Then I have Amanda who's been in here, Thomas Harvey, and she says hello and God bless you, Bob. And thank you, Amanda. Amanda, I forgot where you're from. That would be good. And then there is hello, Talo, and you
That's me.
can. Oh, yeah, you can join. I'm so glad. I probably pronounced it wrong. And you're from Maine.
No, that's right. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Talo, I'm so glad you're in here. You found yourself a place, and if you're feeling down, you want to come in here. People are kind in here. They'll help you out. They're good people in here. I have all kinds of people. I have people from South Africa that call in. Leica, you'll like her. She's funny. She speaks in Afrikanese, which I really didn't know. I mean, I've been to Africa a bunch of times. I've been to most countries in the world at least 25 times. Anything that dealt with ocean or waves, because I'm a surfer. So for 25 years, I traveled the world and surf waves. Unfortunately, when I decided to stop surfing and settle down with a home, then things started happening bad to me. So I always wanted a family, but I certainly didn't want CPS interfering. I did not know the magnitude how bad lay people can be. My in-laws, my wife's mother and father always hated me, didn't like me at all. And when I lost my job in 2010, they were trying to take our children from us. Now I have 6 children. I've helped raise 6 children. One's in his 40s, two are in their 30s, and then two are in the 20s, and one is in the teens. So my youngest is 19, my oldest is 47. And yeah, I'm a dinosaur. Sorry to tell you that, Talo. I'm 75 years old, but I still have a young heart. I still go out in the waves. I still get my gills wet. I can still attempt to do skateboarding because it helps me with my balance. But it's pretty hard to see a 75-year-old come down the alleyway on a skateboard. It's scary. There's a little park near my home here at the beach, and the kids are out there at night, always skateboarding at night in these lights. And I come over there, pull up my skateboard, and they're just amazed. They said, wow, I wish I had a dad like you, still hits here and likes to skateboard. So Anyway, I'm here because I care about people like you, people that are lost in this world. I had a guy the other night who thought this was something else. He thought, "Are you guys talking about Flint, Michigan and the bad leaded water?" I said, "No, I think you're confused. The school had a crackdown on lead, the paint and the lead, and the kids were eating it and they're getting lead there. But there's at least 3 cases of lead problems in Michigan." And anyway, he said, "Well, there's a riot." I said, "Yeah, I looked on the news." He says, "Well, I was in the riot." And I said, "You got the wrong channel here. I'm glad to have you, but here we are talking about CPS." And he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And he says, "Your show's great." And I said, "Well, if it was able to talk about everything in life, I'd love to have a show that dealt with, you know, uh, how to deal with different things in your life to do, like life hacks or like, um, how to resolve
How to be an
things.
adult,
Yeah. How to be adult. Yes. Life
You would-
skills. I
it
call
sounds
it
like
life
you're trying
skills. Life skills. Yes.
So that, it
Because,
sounds like you're trying to make up for being a father
yeah.
because of what happened to you, and that's
Well,
sorry, man.
I have a lot of good life skills. I can talk to you about surfing
You
and
do.
coaching surfing, making surfing contests and stuff. I can do that about football and rugby and soccer. Those are other sports that I actively played in college and high school. And my young son, played 4 years on the top high school team in the country in football, and he won 2 national championships in his 4 years. He had a scholarship to the Naval Academy, be a running back there, but he decided not to go. He turned it down. He turned down the scholarship. He's now at a local school here where we live, and he's pursuing screaming. He wants to be a Steven Spielberg. He wants to produce movies and make movies. So I let him follow his dreams. I was hoping he wanted to be an astronaut, and more astronauts are made for the Naval Academy than any other service. And I thought he could be a pilot, and get a good job as a line officer and command ships. And they pay, by the way, they pay you per diem for going to school. They pay for all your fees, and they give you a stipend of about $2,000 a month. And to me, if all my expenses are paid and they give you $2,000 a month, and in your sophomore year, you can get yourself a car. So I just, and if you're playing football on the Navy football team, it's a good program to be in if you like football. So anyway.
Yeah, I was living in Texas doing foster care there.
Okay.
And I had to get out, and I was performing very well in my Navy junior ROTC in high school.
Oh, you enrolled in that. That's good of you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your interest.
Oh, no service here. No service here.
Well, but thank you for your interest. I strongly am a very strong advocate of the United States Navy. I am very proud.
I love them too.
I was dependent for 18 years. My dad, his career and his life was all devoted to the Navy. I never saw him. He was gone 9 months out of the year. And he told me, do not join the Navy. So I didn't. I regret it to this day. I should have joined it a long time ago because I think it's a wonderful career. And if you're a pilot, you can get out and fly all kinds of commercial jets, and you have a great career. And nothing more exciting than to get there and fly an F-35 or the Hornet, the 118, or even the old. I love Phantom jets. Phantom jets were really fun jets to fly. So, but anyway, we're getting digress a little bit about CPS. So I'm so glad you stopped by. I'm so glad you decided to call in. Did you know by calling in that you're now qualified to speak to my top attorney, Vincent Davis, for a 15-minute private consultation? Now, I don't know if you have some legal questions to ask him, but he's the real deal. He's a lawyer, and you answer them if you want to talk to him. It's all free.
I do have a situation where,
Okay, I'm going to tell you how to do it. By you talking on the show, and you've already talked a good 44 minutes. We have about 15 minutes left. But you qualified to get a private Zoom call with Mr. Davis. He's one of the best attorneys around in fighting CPS. And so all you have to do is text me to my phone number. Let me put it back up there again. The same number you called in, the 626 number.
Yeah.
And it's
I got the number.
698-0990. I'll put it back up here. Let me get it going here. Here it is. You text me your full name, your email, and your phone number. And then I'll turn you over to my show producer. I'll vouch that you talked on the show tonight. And that way she'll set you up a 15-minute private one-on-one Zoom call with Mr. Davis. You introduce yourself and say, I'm a foster care, Mr. Davis. I've been following Bob Pace's show, and I have a couple questions to ask you, legal questions. And then you go ahead and he'll listen. He's a good listener. And he's not a clock watcher, and he'll help you. And you will learn some legal stuff that you need to know.
Thanks, Bob Pace. I really appreciate the talk.
Well, I want to get to, I mean, how old are you in life right now?
I'm 23.
You sound very good. You're like my son. My son is 19. My other son's 25, so I know about 23-year-olds. And you sound like a good boy, level-headed there. Do you have a job?
Yeah, I was.
It's okay.
I'm doing CNC machinery.
Right.
I work in. Yeah. Before that, I was pursuing electrical engineering degree.
Why did you stop? Why did you stop at Double E Electrical Engineering? It's a great job.
Yeah, I want to work on submarines in the Navy.
Oh, you want to go in the Navy? Well, you're still eligible for the nuclear Navy. You're still eligible for the nuclear Navy. 23 is quite young. Now, you may be a little older than some of the young boys at 18 or 19, but a 23-year-old going in the Navy is a really excellent career. And going in submarines, it's excellent. Nuclear power is a lot in submarines, and you can get a job
really cool
out of there. And, you know, if you join the Navy, you'll have probably a 5-year commitment. And after you serve your 5 years, you can roll up and have another 5 or another 10 or whatever. But try it out.
Really good.
You have nothing to do. And I would go to I would go to Officer Candidate School if you have a college degree. If you don't, you can actually get into the Navy through a nomination by either the president, the vice president, one of your congressmen or representative or things. They can nominate you. You'll have to start at the beginning as a freshman, and you'll be with plebes that are 18 years old. But you can do it. You can do that, and you get all your expenses paid for. Now, the way you can get into it, there's lots of ways. You go to high school recruitment night and speak to a recruiter and tell them that you want to go to the Naval Academy and how they get you talk to your congressman or congresswoman and write a resume about how your life has been tough and how you've turned around, and you want to join positive things in the Navy. Do you play football?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm from Texas, so I've seen
a lot of good football players from Texas. I know that for. All you have to do is look at all the names out there. We've played a lot of teams from Texas out there. I mean,
so I'm pretty malnourished from foster care. Like, it doesn't feed me well, so.
That's right. Well,
I've been working on that for a while.
Yeah. Well, it is all right.
I mean, get all buff so I can do that. So,
but anyway, you can also try out if you. It's funny how some places people would walk on recruits that done well. You can be a kicker. You can be a field goal kicker. So nothing's impossible. But being a submariner, being in the submarines would be an excellent job for you. You know, they pay for your uniform. They pay for your accommodations. If you get married, they help you with your medical for you and your wife. It's an excellent career. They have a lot of benefits.
All that stuff, yeah.
And you're necessarily not going to get killed. You're not a frontline kind of individual. It's not like the Marines. But
right.
Be in the Navy, you be on board ships, and you travel the world. And if you like the world, it becomes small once you travel the world. The world to me is such a small place. Whether I'm in Kuta Beach in Indonesia, or at Tavarua in Fiji, or at Tehepu in Tahiti, or the North Shore in Hawaii at Pipeline or Waimea or Haleiwa or Chun's Reef. I mean, I can think about all the surfing breaks I've been to, or go to Durban, South Africa, and surf the waves there, or go to Australia and go to the Gold Coast, Snapper Rock. Today they've been surfing at the old place we used to have the Stubbies. It's Burley Head. It's a right point break in Australia. And I have a lot of Australian friends, but between there and Bells Beach in Victoria, the state of Victoria at Melbourne, and then there's Margaret River on the west side. It's kind of the rough area of Australia. Tasmanian Sea is down below there and stuff. So, I am just familiar with Japan. I've been to a lot of the islands off Japan. I've been down to Kyoto and down south to Oshima, to the land of the shoguns and stuff. And so I've been to the Subic in the Philippines, Baguio in the Philippines. I've been to a little island called Guam in the Pacific. I'm the first surfer that surfed Guam. Back in 1956, there was no surfers there except me. I learned it in Hawaii when we stopped there, and I took up the sport and kept going and came back to the States in the late 60s, got my first Hobie surfboard from Hobie Alter and Dana Point, and rest of his history. But anyway, not here to talk about my life. I think we're talking about your life and getting you on the direction you want to go. The world is your dream out there. And it sounds like you've had a rough one, but you've also learned some values out there. And, I respect everybody I talk to. I don't look down on them. I don't put them down or anything else. But I think if you have some legal matters, you want to talk to Vincent Davis, please call him. I mean,
yeah,
please set up the information. Yeah, it's there. I'll do it after my show. I will send my show producer, and also I'd like you to come in every once in a while and say, "Hey, Bob, I want to tell you some good news." I love good news from people there.
Yes, sir.
And now let me catch up with Cruel. Cruel's been talking a lot tonight, and I forgot all about her. Just bear with me. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. So Cruel says, are there any questions you can think of that I can ask Attorney Davis tomorrow? Cruel is so excited. She's going to have a talk with him. Well, question one, Cruel, should be, how do you get your babies back? What do you need to do to get your babies back? And what do you need to do to get your mom back? Those are two most important things. And how to get family members to get off you. How to keep family members stop meddling in your life. That's question 3. And there's a legal thing. You could ask them, is it too late to file this or that? Can I file a 388 motion? Because I have some new information that I want to bring before the court. Those are the questions you can ask them. Also going to ask them what his retainer is for coming up to Ventura to defend you. Now, I know you probably don't have the money, Cruel, but it's just a question you can ask them. So anyway, she has a conference call with Mr. Davis tomorrow. And also, Cruel, if you talk to him, I want to hear from you. And thank you. I'm not a dinosaur. I'm glad, because sometimes I feel like a dinosaur. I feel like I'm in my 40s, not in my 70s. But, people hear age and they equate a 75-year-old man, so they label me. You're the queen of life hacks. That sounds great, Cruel. It's a shame I've been able to put that knowledge to real mom-like tests. Hopefully that changes. I hope so too, Cruel. And then she said 8 p.m. Oh, okay. Is it 8? Oh, my clock time. Oh, my goodness gracious. I didn't realize it's 8 o'clock. I got to close my show down. Thank you, Cruel, for keeping track of my time. We've had a very delightful young man who's in his 20s, who was brought up in foster care, had a horrible family life, that's trying to regroup and everything. His name is Talo, and Talo is from Maine. That's really up north, The only people I know up in Maine were the Vikings. They touched ground up there, never put a settlement up there, but they were there long before the Europeans were there, the rest of them. They came after the Indians. The Indians were our first immigrants, the Native American Indians. They were the first ones to come here. Then the Vikings. It's so easy now. It's got the Vikings then. So anyway.
So October 9th is Leif Erikson Day.
Hey.
To represent the Viking that came.
Hey, thank you for sharing that to me. Yes, there's Leif Erikson. In fact, if you've been following the History Station, there was the Vikings and then the Vikings Valhalla. And Leif Erikson is one of the characters in that Valhalla series. They're into season 3, I think it is, or 4 or 5. Anyway, Valhalla follows 100 years later of the original Vikings, the History Channel. And Leif Erikson, his life is talked a lot there. He wasn't like his dad. I think his dad was Eric the Red. And his dad left a lot of harsh feelings back in Norway and other places when he set sail to Iceland and Greenland. Anyway, it's Leif Erikson's birthday today. Well, that's great. That's great.
Well, on October 9th, that would be...
October 9th. I thought you said it was
October
today,
9th.
May 9th.
Yeah.
Never mind. Let me put that in my...
That's actually my birthday, but...
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, gee,
yeah,
I'm going to... In my calendar, May, June, July, August, September, October 9th. And I'll put down there Leif Erikson's birthday. And I'll remember you. Hopefully you'll call me on the 9th of October.
Yeah. I really appreciate what you do. You know, I'm happy that...
Yeah.
You know, because there are so many people out there that, you know, are losing their kids that shouldn't be losing them, and they're going to end up like me. And
right. Understood. Understood.
It's hell, you know, and I don't want anyone to go through what I'm going through. So I really thank you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you, Talo. I can't believe you're 23 years old. You're so mature. And for what you've gone through and shared with us, I'm glad you did. And so I have down Leif Erikson's birthday, Talo of CPS. I'll be in there. So that's October 9th. Got you covered. Well, I'm going to say goodbye, Talo. I have to get taking care of my family. So God bless you all. And thank you, Talo. Thank you, Cruel. Thank you, Amanda. And thank you all for coming to my live stream. I really care about you. Margaret, I'm glad to see you. And Kelly Fletcher from Chicago. So glad to see you. Boy, people are coming in the last minute. Margaret and Kelly Fisher and Cruel, all of you. Good luck with your call, Cruel. Come and see my show at 8 o'clock in the morning, Cruel. Come and see me call. We go through your questions. God bless you all. Keep fighting for your children. Keep fighting, for your life. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thank you and God bless.